one in which an alien fighting deportation won, and another in which a criminal defendant fighting or challenging a police car search won. And neither one of those plaintiffs is a likely winner in a conservative ideological court. But because of the arguments and the facts and precedents, they still carry the day. And I think that's going to happen in the future, and that it should happen. I think the court isn't a purely ideological institution or a political institution, but and I think we're lucky that it isn't. But I wanted also to mention just a little bit about covering the Supreme Court. I've had the privilege of doing it for 29 years now, and I've seen an amazing evolution in the court and the coverage of the court. It's still an institution where you get used to hardly ever speaking to the people you cover. The Chief Justice Rehnquist always would have lunch with the Supreme Court press corps every 2 years. We always we were sure that was all he could bear of us. And now Chief Justice Roberts has vastly improved it, and we now have lunch with him every year. That's progress. And there has been a great deal of other progress in terms of access to the justices. They get out and about a lot more than they used to, and they do interviews more than they used to. I used Justice Alito's soft spot for the Philadelphia Phillies, who won the series last year, to get into his office and get an interview. I wanted to interview him about the Philadelphia Phillies, and he agreed to that. And then while I was there, I said, "Well, while I have you," we got a few interesting other questions. But another interesting thing along these lines happened this week. The two justices went before a House committee which is holding a hearing on the budget of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has to get its budget approved by Congress just like any other agency, and there's always an interesting clash between the two branches. And what happened here this week is that two justices, Justice Breyer and Thomas, went to the Congress and said, "We really want to improve our website." They asked for $800,000 to upgrade their website. And this is part of a very calculated strategy of the court to say, we're doing these things to increase access so that you won't force us to allow cameras in the Supreme Court. And that's the ultimate thing that's the line they never want to cross. They hate the idea. And so far it's been successful. The justices say, well, look at all we've done. We don't need cameras. We're doing all these things for public access. Well, they kind of came in expecting that the Congress would ooh and ah and say, this is great, you're going to improve your website, that's terrific. Instead, what they said was, that's all well and good, improving the website, but that's not nearly good enough now. The internet has taken over everything. We want you to have oral arguments streamed online on the court's website, this new website we created. And to prove it, one of the members of the committee pulled out his smartphone and pointed it at the justices and said, you are right now on my website. They were kind of startled. They're just not accustomed to that kind of access. So I think